Hello and greetings, welcome to the channel. I am indeed a Viking and a Viking reenactor, and I love my history. Now today I am your host, I'm Braggy. If you do not know who I am the host of Northworthy Sagas and Stories. Oh yes, a channel dedicated to telling stories of folk tales, stories from the Viking sagas, but also to chat about history and all the things we love. So, how are you today? Now today, this video is about Viking boat and boat rigs. Now I have two examples here of boat rigs. I'll bring them a little bit closer for you to have a look at there. And we will go through them and talk about why is it important that as a Viking you have a good boat. Now, this first boat rig I have is Eggles, and it's the most excellent boat rig, I must say. It's got some nice silver mounts, a couple of nice little sacks, leather sacks with things in, and a much larger one. He has a kind of a toilet set for cleaning his nails that I made Eggles some time ago. I actually love making these. I used to make them and sell them online. He's got a sharp eating knife, a Seaxe, a blunt Seaxe, and he's got an axe with an axe wing. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my other boat rig down and I'm going to put this one on and show you how you put it on. You also notice it's got a very nice buckle and a very nice strapping. Now originally strapping was actually put on back to front by whoever put it on, and I very kindly took it off Reggle and put it on the right way, which you'll see the new rivets, and I must say that's nicely riveted. Although I would prefer at the back to have some washers underneath them, but if you don't always have washers, then you just got to make do with what you got. And it's also got a very nice buckle. Now this boat is actually very old. It used to belong to his granddad, and very recently I gave it a bit of a treatment with some leather oil, because you always got to keep your leather nicely oiled, because if you don't, you're going to end up in trouble and your oil will dry and crack and you risk damaging or breaking your boat. So always make sure you give it a good oil. Now if you can't afford decent, like, you know, neat foot oil, which is I use, you can use olive oil, but I do recommend you go out on eBay or Amazon and buy a decent, leather oil at a budget you can afford. So what I've done now, I've undone the buckle. You'll see the little buckle there. I also improved it by putting some stamps on this buckle for Eggle and just stamping it a little bit. Beforehand it was plain, and I thought it could be improved, and I didn't mind. It actually needs a bit of a polish. It's getting a bit green in places to do. And the most important thing is that when you put the boat on, it's on the right way. Now if I put it on this way, it's going to be back to front, because my Seaxes will be facing the wrong way. So I'll move back slightly. I'm holding the rig at the back so it don't fall down, and I'm trying to see where he's got his equipment. So he has his axe on the left, as you can see there. So what I need to do is just bring the Seaxe round a little bit and then try to get it on. So you'll feed it through, and I hope you're picking this up on camera. I'll try to step a little bit more forward here. And I apologise, I got a slight cold today. I woke up with a sore throat, slight sore throat and a cold, and thought to myself, oh by the gods, Braggy, you're never going to film today. But I've had some nice honey and hot water and some chicken soup, and I put some deep heat on my feet and I feel much better. So let me just show you what I've done there off camera. I've fed his bolt through. He's got an iron pin. It's always very important you have a good quality pin. A lot of the times you'll see brass or copper pins, and they're not brilliant, I must say. If you've got a more of a better quality pin like iron, then, sorry as I adjust the camera, you're going to find it's better for you. And as you can see, what I've got to do now is feed the iron pin through. It goes through a hole, and then feed the rest of the strap down, and make sure it's tight. And then it's a matter of just adjusting all your equipment carefully on your boat, because you want your Seaxes on the front. It's not the best Seaxes, I've got to demonstrate, but it does the job, it does the work. So, and it's a blunt one, of course. It just wants a better sheath. And then, of course, my axe is too far around the back and my knife, so I bring forward Eggle's eating knife. I'll show you that. That's the little sharp one. And of course he's wrote his little name on here at some point. And this is how Vikings would personalise their items over time. And it's a very nice example of a broken back knife. And again, this is sharp, so this will be used at banquets to eat your dinner, pick up your meat, and do a bit of carving or any little jobs you got. So it's always handy to have one, but you don't take one of these onto the Viking battlefield, because you will get picked up by one of the training officers who will say, no, you can't have that. So yes, and it's got a different slice of a pouch sheath. I mean, it's one that hangs down rather than goes across, which is quite nice. I like that style. And at some point I went round with, it was getting very tatty on the old thread. It was basically falling apart. So what I did, I just managed to, so you can see it, hold it up, to go around with some nice linen wax thread. So then of course I pull my axe around, and then that's Eggle's boat rig. What I like about it, it's thickness of the boat. The boat is round about, I would say, 1.5 inches wide. So with a wider boat, as I begin to take it off again, because I do not want to disrespect Eggle's boat. I don't really wear it often on camera. I mostly wear my own rig. But now and again you want a change. I'm sure Eggle won't mind. But it's great actually just to bring out and just demonstrate. And I think it shows the fact that Eggle's been doing this hobby for many years, since the 1980s. The fact that he's got a thicker boat. He must have realised down the line that a thicker boat is much better. And like I said, this used to be his granddad's and actually took part in World War I. So this boat is over 100 years old as well, which is another reason why I'm always careful with it. And there you go, it's lovely. Now next I'll get my bolt system, which I found the other day. I'm going to slightly move the camera forward so we don't get too much of a glare. Because I'll tell you what, it's a lovely day today, but it is slightly sunny. But we don't mind that. So I'll carefully put this down. I've got a coat down there on the floor, so it's not on the grass. And then I'll pick up this bolt system. Now I found this one the other day in a box. I'll go through what I got. We have one sharp Seaxes with the boar motif, or Mercia. Again, in one of those sheaths which hangs down with a bit of brass or copper around it. That's copper. I have a pouch, because everybody should have a pouch, I think, on their boat, just to keep your little bits in. And then I have a Seaxes, which is not a bad rig actually for a Seaxes. It does need a little bit of improvement, and it does have some very nice washes on the back. You'll see that's a nice touch. The downside of it, it needs pinching in here, and probably what it does need is a little rivet putting in this section here to stop this bit of leather from moving side to side. That's the only thing it needs really. It needed 2 rivets, not 1. And I'll put it out for you. And it's also got a little bit of inlay. You can see that brass inlay. And that used to belong to a guy that played King Harold for many years. And has a little bit of decoration on the old sheath. Sure you agree, that's quite nice. So now I'll demonstrate the buckle. It's another nice bronzy buckle. This bolt is about 20mm in thickness, but what it does, unlike a lot of other bolts, it tapers off. There's a close-up of the buckle and the little plate, the mounting at the back. Always important you have one of these. It's a slightly different design rather than goes straight. This one's been shaped, and I like that. And as you can see, if you look at the end, this bolt gets it tapers out and it gets thicker and thicker, which I do like as well, but it's very difficult to actually make a tapered bolt. You know, it takes practice as a leather worker. I'm picking up my Seaxes, it fell out. They do. If you don't put them back in the old sheath properly, they do fall out. So I'm going to step back, we're going to have a look at this rig and see how it goes on. So it's got to go on this way. And again, I always like to grab my bolt at the back so I know it's not going to fall down. And then I'll just feed it around, keep hold of the bolt. Let me just point the camera down, hang on, we'll do it again, look, there you go, so you can see that. And then what I always do, I've got one hand here and I always have this bit of bolt in my hand so I can keep it tight as I feed through. So it's a very long strap at the end of this. And then I can buckle my bolt up. Now this has a brass pin and the pin is bent, so it needs hammering straight again. This is why having a steel pin or a mild steel pin is much better on a buckle. If they bend too much that way, then they become quite difficult to get in the hole. And then got to feed this through. In an ideal world, we'd have 2 cameras filming, but we can't have everything. And again, I can feed it through again and make sure it's tight. And now I just got to adjust my equipment, my Seaxes, so it hangs on the front. And my eating knife is down there. And then I just slightly bring my pouch round. Sometimes I'll have an axe loop either here or just behind my pouch. I tend to prefer it here and have a pouch at the side. And then you can see that bolt rig. And I do like this bolt rig. As my own, all the ones I own, this is my favourite one because it's thicker than some of the others and feels more comfortable on your body. You know, your kit's got to feel comfy. If you don't feel comfy, it feels awkward, or you don't feel right, adjust it until it gets to that, you know, right stage of fitting you. Yes, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I do love a good bolt rig. Now, 2 things you can do for the channel. 1, share the video, and 2, give the old video a like. By doing both those things, it gives a message to YouTube and the algorithm that people love our content and it's more likely to get shared, and we're going to get more impressions, and more impressions equals more views, and more views equals more subs, and more subs equals better content in the future. So, oh yes, goodbye from me.